I now recognize Representative Omar for 4 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Jayapal. Ms. Patty, as a matter of law and according to ICE's own policy, ICE could not arrest and detain U.S. citizens. Did they give you a reason for your legal detention, and do you remember what the actual agency that made the arrest was?
They said when they arrested us that they were arresting us for obstructing a federal operation, but
and do you know to this day if you've been charged with anything?
No, to this day I've not been charged with anything. There were no cars in front of them. We weren't blocking them in. We weren't at an active ICE raid. They also never identified themselves as ICE. It didn't say that on their uniforms. So,
do you recall if you were fully booked, like fingerprinted, photos taken?
We were not fingerprinted. Our photos were not taken.
So just held hostage and then released, essentially?
Yeah.
Okay. And Mr. Mayo, is there any constitutional way in which these arrests are legally possible by ICE and border agents when it comes to legal residents and citizens?
Well, I mean, for any arrest, I mean, someone can be arrested for unlawful activity. But I mean, what we are seeing is far from that. You know, at the sites of some of this activity with observers and protesters, these are chaotic scenes. But we are seeing actions from the government that are escalating, that are violent, that are not disciplined, that are not using any proper rules of engagement. And citizens, observers, protesters, Minnesotans are rightfully upset about what they're seeing. Seeing people murdered, they're seeing people shot at, they're seeing people dragged from their homes and from cars, and they're coming out. And for the most part, what we're seeing is escalation from DHS forces.
Yeah. Thank you. And Chief McCarthy, we in Minneapolis, we're seeing arrests being made at gas stations, cars being left behind. The mayor testified to one car being left on as the person was detained, rolling into the street. Is that a normal behavior for law enforcement when they make an arrest for them to leave vehicles running or to leave vehicles at the site of the arrest?
Thank you for the question, ma'am. No, it is not.
And why is that?
Well, because we are responsible for the welfare and safety of everybody, including the people that we arrest. And people have a right to be secure in their persons and property. Part of that is us securing their property and making sure that it's not subject to another crime such as theft or a traffic issue.
And do you know any training that would allow local or federal law enforcement to leave these vehicles where they've been left?
I can only speak to local or statewide, and no, that is contrary to our training and policy.
And Mr. Hussein, you heard the testimonies of citizens only holding areas. You spoke to the trauma of being a refugee who comes from a war-torn country. What do you think it is psychologically, this occupation is psychologically doing to people who already hold a lot of trauma?
Thank you for that. As we know, Somali Americans are about 98% permanent residents or U.S. citizens. What we are seeing is those U.S. citizens being harassed at work, whether they're driving Uber, whether they're going to work. We also know that people are afraid to go out because being Somali now means you're at risk of being stopped. And that is something that the entire community is sharing. And we're seeing our businesses now, some of our business owners saying that about 70% of their customers are not returned. This is a widely impacting our community. But at the same time, I've also seen the resiliency in my community. I've seen just last night meeting with young leaders in Cedar Riverside who are standing up, who are declaring their Americanism and fighting back, and that is also inspiring. I saw the same in St. Cloud, where these young people and community are waking up to realizing they're learning about their rights, they're executing their rights, and they're standing up. And for the first time, I think for Minnesotans, we are coming together as a state, as a community. Renee Good is a symbol of hope, is a symbol of the countless people that Amelia talked about who are out every single day standing up for their neighbors. And many people across this country do not know how great Minnesota is. And my father always says that we came to a cold place, but we found a place with people with warm hearts, and that is true. And so we are coming together in this moment in such big ways.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Omar. And